CrossFit describes itself as constantly varied, functional movements performed at high intensity. But what if we use all the tools, training advice, practices, and the methodology of CrossFit, but took away just one element? What if, instead of becoming constantly varied, we went all in on one particular movement? Ben Bergeron, head of CompTrain, says that when his top athletes have a weakness, they work on it relentlessly. They will perform said weakness 3 times a week. And if it's a bleeding weakness that could potentially derail their CrossFit season, they will hyper-focus this said weakness every day for 30 days straight. Applying this mindset, using their techniques, and finding the best approaches to achieve these goals, I'm going to teach you at home how to crush your goals, see improvement, and fill those holes. This challenge is called Ground Zero. I'll do what it takes to make you believe. With my heart and hyperdrive, we do what we want, but when I'm free, with our hearts on hyperdrive. What is going on, Beast? Welcome to episode 1 of the Ground Zero series. If you don't understand what this series is about, you've just jumped onto this video and you haven't seen episode 0, which will explain everything behind the series. It will be in the link in the description. The way I'm going to run these series is I'm going to run through each individual day of programming that I perform. Now I'm combining day 1, 2, 3 and 4, and 5 and 6 together purely because a technique day will be hella quick, hella boring, and you won't really get any training value out of it as far as what I can run through, discuss about the actual session itself, and other things. What I'm also going to add to these videos is just a topic I want to discuss for the day before I run through exactly the sets, the reps, the kind of feeling you're looking for, stimulus, tips, tricks, and etc. So today's thing is about the episode, about the series, and it's about starting something new. Whether you're learning a new skill, taking a new job or career path, even, getting out of your comfort zone and doing something that you've never done before, one of the greatest things about starting something new is being a beginner. Being a beginner can be daunting for some. However, you get a fresh prospect or fresh idea of this new little thing that you're about to try. You're not persuaded by previous experience. You're not put off by things you've learned that contradicts what other people are doing. When you start something new, you have no idea of the other politics behind that new skill, idea, job is, apart from what that person or what you're learning yourself in that moment, which is what makes it absolutely excellent to start something new. Being a beginner gives you that ability to learn quick, develop fast, and show a lot of improvement. When you expose yourself to stress, you adapt. The earlier stages, your body's not used to the stress. So you adapt a lot quicker, you get a lot better, a lot faster. But when you're at that master tier level of something, you're an expert, you're the best, the adaptation, you require more stress to get a smaller adaptation, which can be really off-putting because you don't see a lot of progress on those things you're doing really well at, which is really why I'm so in love with starting something new. Just like this series, I thought instead of worrying so much about, being good at a lot of things, why not just get really good at something that I may not be so good at right now, and share that journey with you guys so that you can run through it with me. If your bench press sucks, you can follow these videos and get a free bench press program essentially. Remember, this series is all about me going from 142.5 to 150 kilos on the bench press. I've rated this as easy, and let's kick into the very first movement of today. Week 1, session 1, tempo bench press. 3 sets of 5, only at 50% of your 1 rep max bench. Tempo bench press is a very interesting movement, and I've really loved to add it to the program purely for the fact that the way that tempo bench press works is it puts you under a little bit of stress. It allows you to have less weight on the bar with more effect with that weight because we're using a different principle of progressive overload. This time, tempo being time under tension. And finally, it really forces you to hold a really good position for a longer period of time. 3 sets of 5 at 50%, the tempo is a 3 second lower with a 1 second pause at the chest and then exploding up for that raise. Pretty straightforward component. What tips I could give for this one? The big focus here is positioning. Get in that good position of your bench press. Do you arch? Do you flat bench? Do you drive through your heels? Do you use your legs? These are the things that you need to think about when we are focused on this bench press. And from day one of the program, you need to work out right now whether you're an arched bencher or a flat bencher. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just what's more comfortable and what you feel stronger at. Moving on, our floor or rack press. I've given you the choice. If you have a rack that allows you to go from that floor position, you can do it from a rack. It's actually a whole lot easier. I, however, do not at this stage have a rack that allows me to go that low. So floor press, unfortunately, is what I've chosen, but both have the same stimulus. 3 sets of 8+ for this movement. Now, 2 things I'll explain first. The floor press and how I've set this up. I had to play around with it a little bit because, unfortunately for me, I got it wrong the first time. I went way too high on the plates and it felt like I was doing a 85 kilo skull crusher to get the bar up to start. So what I decided to do is use my biggest plates for the actual movement itself. I stacked it on just 1 plate on each side, and then I started underneath the bar and started the bottom position like a dumbbell bench press, where you'd start from the bottom, press it up to begin the movement. I found this was way more effective to perform the floor press, safer, and it was a little bit easier for me to be able to get in and out of the bar as well. Now, the plus on this movement, as explained in the program that you would see on screen, the plus means that the final set is as many reps as possible, and you need to record your number for the next week. How this works is you do your first 2 sets of 8 at 60%, no change there. Your final set, you will see how many reps you can achieve at 60%. Let's say, for example, you get 9 reps. Excellent. That little bit of extra intensity allowed you to get a few more reps than what we were expecting, which was the 8, as well as we kind of got rid of any energy that we had remaining in that movement. Moving on to our final movement, the med ball push-up. This is a very tricep dominant accessory that focuses on locking out the triceps and keeping our good, nice flat back position on the push-up itself. If you truly struggle at even holding a push-up position, let alone doing push-ups on your toes, you can always take this movement to your knees. There's no issues with that at all. 2 sets at an 8 RPE. Bit of a different way to approach a movement, and the suggestion behind this is optional, but this is what I would do for week 1, as this movement's gonna appear every single week until the program finishes. On that first set, go for a max effort set, as many reps as you can possibly perform on the med ball push-up. For me, I personally got 16 repetitions. The key catch is once your technique starts to break, that's when you stop. Don't go to absolute muscular failure, because unfortunately we won't A, learn anything, and B, it can be a little bit dangerous, which we don't want. When your technique fails, that's when you stop. Add that number, so for me 16, I minused it by 2, which was 8 reps, or 8 RP I say, which means leave 2 in the tank. And then from there, the second set I performed 14 repetitions. If we jump into session 2, session 4, session 6, and all this program is a technique session. 2 sets of 5, bench press or push-ups, purely focusing on technique. You want to focus on building your best position and really practice the technique of the movement. And this is at bar or body weight. You might be like, Ty, why are we doing bench press at bar weight? That kind of seems stupid. Well, unfortunately, for a lot of people, technique is what lets them down. If you're not working on actively improving that technique with an empty barbell, then your chances of PRing a big number in the future are minimal. Technique also protects us from injury, and it also allows us to efficiently move more weight for our body weight. If you're not working on your technique, you're not going to improve your movement. And this is also a good way to A, rest your body from the bench press, and B, work on other movements like the squat, the deadlift, the snatch, the clean, the cardiovascular system, and all of the other things that you want to focus on in CrossFit, but still get a few reps in of the bench press and what I would consider free reps. That is session 1 and session 2 all done and dusted. As always, if you want the full program and you're sick of waiting for the whole thing, or you just like the whole thing in a nice, neat format for yourself, my website, absolutebeast.org, has that entire program on there for you. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments down below. I'll be able to answer it as these videos come out. And as always, you guys at home, stay a beast.